Hello guys, this is me on my third stream. We're just gonna take a look at what's happening around to the world today. Let's see what's going on. We have news happening. So maybe there's some relationship between the blast that happened and with the Turkey Casa. I wonder what this is. It doesn't let me copy it. Oh, it had a Turkish connection. Not surprising. I think they do finance some of the. They have certain organizations that finance these. It's like Qatar. They have been also accused to finance in other countries. So I hope that more details emerge from this incident. I wonder which university this is referring to. No, I don't want to comment. Still ongoing investigation. More people are being caught. This is good. It should have been done earlier, but that's. I think our security force. They stopped a lot of bad elements from taking certain actions. So I believe they have also stopped here in early phase. It's unfortunate that 13 people still had to lose their life. Again, this is a matter of minutes and hours from being suspect to very sure that if these people to commit these actions, these atrocities. So you have to be very sure of these when you, as a security agency, when you act. But yeah, I think they have acted in other cases, so this is one of the rare situations where 13 lives had no other ways. Rest in peace to these people. Alright, let's jump on to another news if we have anything. What do we have coming from the US? Alright, since we had troubling relationship with the United States, I hope this improves with this terror response. People could understand the outside world like what we are suffering from, and I hope US could help instead of helping the Pakistan government, which they normally do. I hope this brings us together, which I think he had previous relations of very good business and as well as security pact. What we have here. See, the shutdown has ended. That's a good thing. And this is some South Korea based news where 2 people have been killed, amidst the unfortunate incident where the driver had a certain acceleration. I wonder. In the 60s. Not sure what could they cause here. Oh, it's been since 10 years since the Bataclan incident. Is it Charlie Hebdo? No, this Bataclan one. He has one of the most unfortunate incidents, and if France learns from that, which I doubt they will, at least the terror attacks has come down in recent and its lowest numbers. But the other incidents, like the Louvre heist that was done also by certain members, I mean, you better learn or you're gonna go. No, you're gonna go down extinct against this monster. So, coming back to the other news. Why is this a problem? Why is Google having a data center cause a concern, except for the energy that it's going to use? What other news we got here? So you're ready to face Google's threat. Nuclear arms race we got there. I think the recent So US would resume the testing of the nuclear weapons, and how is that a concern? I mean, it shouldn't be, except the fact that if everybody's going to test it, they're going to have a bigger, better nuclear bomb. So of course the other nations would follow suit. That's going to be like how it used to be tested in the 90s, or even before that, the atoll or other place in the Pacific. We'll have all test all over again. I think there's already enough nuclear weapons to annihilate most of the population, so I don't know who is going to get after with the more worse ones, more dangerous, more explosive. I think it's like maybe try to end everything in just 2 nuclear bombs. Yeah, we definitely have to find ways to kill each other in a better way. Surely it led to some of the technological advancement, but yeah, here's I think it's just unnecessary. We all should have just stopped whatever we got. Should have been the deterrence. I think maybe Russia or somebody started. I think somebody pulled back from the treaty. And I don't think China was even in the treaty. Anyone would read the news from Pakistan is just nation with the news that was depressed news you got there. What is this one? They convinced the Sri Lankan cricket team to continue the cricket. They had to intervene from the army to convince sports people. Is that how bad it's getting in there? Alright, so we have election results coming tomorrow in Bihar. So this was, so you had the whole government shutdown that was in the trending. People could go to work, couldn't travel, couldn't fly planes. I mean, they could have fly, but there was not much workers left. TSA worker left. So now we have what Epstein files. Democrats, I think, had some emails that they shared. I think Trump should just, come up with whatever they have, or I don't know if he's withholding information or withholding. Yeah, he should just come out clean. I think it might have little election downside, negatives with that if he's involved. And if he is involved, he's like having, let's say, relations with certain, then I think he needs to have the repercussions, because certain people shouldn't be leading. So again, this is complex. Like Democrats had maybe different people who needed to be removed and they didn't remove. So Republicans can just argue that. So I think this comes down upon the moral ethics of each voters, who they're going to vote. Anyway. Lowest largest. We have the largest spider web found. Almost 6. Oh, that's a lot of spiders. I wonder the arachnophobia, right? That's a big colony. Isn't this news a little old? Yeah, this was unfortunate. People from the community had to do this instead of being a normal person, and then they ended up taking this woman, right? This one they did, yeah. And she got justice. I think that lady got the worst conviction ever delivered to a female in France, and I hope that would be some kind of relief to the family. I mean, to me, in certain cases, yeah, that should be the actual, because there's no point. You take one life, you gotta give one life. That's how it should be. Unless you do it out of motivation. There's different criteria. Pure rage, pure motivation, randomly how you're doing it. That should all take into account, and then there should be that sentence as just the final justice. But that is not happening in this case, even though it was the worst example. What am I reading? So in other news, what we have here, H-1B visa. Let's take a look into this. Alright, so they want us Indians to train them and then go back. Is that what is what comment from I mean, is there a country if they want to have this policy? Who are we to suggest it? So they could have this policy. It's up to them. That's not. So we have certain people that who can do the certain things that the other people are not capable to do. So either they can train. Yeah, that's an option. But I doubt if the companies are going to send these people to train them, because that will be. You have all these rights. You have visas. Why would you spend $1,000, $100,000 to train, then to come back? Maybe the training could be done in India. They could send all the people who wants to be trained here. But either way, that's their politics. This is their law. If they want this law, they could have this law. Yeah, he's right. This comment is right. It's not easy to change train people. We already have so many jobs there, and there's more to be needed. There's not enough workforce, or maybe not the right type of workforce. You gotta bring people in, or you gotta take the job out, or do it from remote. So I think the president Trump understands this, but not the core voters. But they have their own concerns with coming in. So it's a complex issue. What do we have here in the other news? Satya I got a plan to take on Google. I think OpenAI is a little ahead. I mean, not a little. I mean, they are the first company to break AI threshold, so they're going to be ahead. Then Google and of course Microsoft is going to have a fair share in them because they invested. So let's see who wins this race. As much as I'm concerned about AI not, being regulated enough, so they don't. I hope something good comes out of this. As it's still a nascent phase, they are being adopted in coding and even our place and others. This competition is good. Something we can hope that something better comes out of it, and it all helps in our daily lives. That's what we expect AI to be. And like there's robots that's doing all the chores. Certainly that could help in old people, but they have to be like fully regulated. Like they don't take any stupid action on their behalf, like how we see in ChatGPT or others. They hallucinate, and so these bots, humanoid bots, could be very helpful in a lot of situations. So I'm hopeful that they will be coming out, and maybe a few accidents may happen, and then there could be later be more regulation, and then more better version will come out. So, but again, accidents happen with all things. You have cars that leads to accident, doesn't mean the ban car or the ban knife. So, yeah, regulations. What do we have in other news? Tech news. Can I click on the tech news? Oh, OnePlus have launched their phone, the 15. I mean, the phones are getting ridiculously fast, but as well as the AI that needs to be run on these phones, they have to be fast again. It's a mouse shades with AI and other features that's coming. Because I remember having a OnePlus 6 phone back in 2018, and this phone I still have, and the screen a little broken, but the phone itself had a very good processor. It could run a lot of applications, but at the same time, it felt a little. It was fastest in its time, and then certain new applications, they just how they function back then, and it feels a little laggy. I think each applications, they have more API call, more threads running in the background, and all this just strain the processor. So either they have they could optimize how it was, could be make the app smoother. But I think they realize these app companies realize that there's a lot of compute power, the process power there in the phone. So why do we need to optimize? So I don't know. It just feels. I think it's the same with the games. You have all these new graphics cards coming, and then the more complex games coming, and then people complain that they're not optimized enough. So yeah, I think that could be the case, just to make people buy new phones. It could be just a collusion, tie-in between a dark tie-in between companies trying to sell you more stuffs. Now let's see. Any other news we got about the asteroid that was traveling from 3i Atlas? Let's see where it is. I think it's supposed to make a comeback in December. It's coming 19 December. Again, this is one of the rarest events we're seeing in our lifetime, and we wish to maybe get more close information or about this, more pictures, or we could just send a probe there, but that's not possible. This thing is flying crazy, insane fast. And it's not getting that much close to us, except on the 19th December. So I hope we get more information then. But imagine thinking this object originated more years back, since the formation of Earth, even earlier than that. And again, we have the knowledge of all the basic building blocks of these comets and asteroids. It's all elements stays the same. But it's just thinking the fact that these stars, this asteroid visited, let's say 2 or 3 stars in its lifetime, and it's coming to, let's say maybe it's the 3rd star visiting to our sun. It's so I don't know. Sometimes you want to feel like you want to sit on this asteroid and leave. On this comet and leave outside the solar system, out in the loneliness, wherever it takes you. Yeah, we learn enough from this event. We have a lot of information by the time it ends, because I think maybe NASA knows, and they don't want to release, because I think we had some photo taken from Mars and they haven't been released because of the shutdown or something. What do we have in the politics? Yeah, the BJP's government, NDA is going to win. I don't see opinion polls. What do you got there? What are we teaching kids again? Yeah, I think this should be a lesson in the right and wrong. I think this should be taught in maybe home by parents. This could be more comfortable. Like I don't think in Indian families we have this conversation. It's just like a taboo thing, but maybe we should teach. But not all people think this. But I think it should be like people should more discuss about the good and bad. We should teach them in family, not at school. Maybe school could have say in one or two things, but all these the basic evaluation in a child's mind and what's wrong and right should come from our family values. Then school could add. So yeah, I think we should be doing this in families, and so that comes again to the basic thinking. I don't think this is a possible. This going to be continue to be a taboo in most of the cities, and not the major ones, but smaller ones. And then you have villages, and you have those places they won't have this. Maybe in higher educated society, people could because this comes down to break taboo. One has to be educated. You cannot break. Education is the primary thing to break the barrier to realize what could be talked about and what could not be. So that's one of the key reasons. So until then, yeah, we can't do anything about it. I think that's all for the news. Do we have anything in the global part? The military conscription service to be introduced by Germany. I think that's a great thing. I think they're running sort of military men voluntarily taking part in, and Ukraine having corruption as I think that Ukraine was always suffering from corruption. Even during the wartime, that's crazy. It's that certain people are putting their pockets first than the country. And what they are deciding on the alcohol from court. It needs to have a certain percent of alcohol in them. Yeah, that's that. If that's what it is, there should be. But where was the maybe some restaurant or someone thought that it's good to not put in there. Maybe some non-alcohol is irrelevant. Again, it's the culture, so you cannot have certain mix up. They gotta. So then the courts needs to intervene. It's still, it's the first kind of court decision I'm seeing. Alright, that's all for the news. I'll see you next day if I get a chance to make.